Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. Collaboration time. Two very favorite breweries of mine. Von Trapp Brewing and Tröegs Brewing. This is their Stowe Dunkelweizen. When was this can? Did they put it in? This says best by 7/14/24. When does that mean this came out? I'm assuming 14/24. I'm probably given 6 months on this. I saw this get released as far as like on social media, and I had zero hope that this would find its way down by me, but here we are. We're sitting here staring at the can. I am beyond pumped. What do we have here? It says a brewed in collaboration, dark wheat ale with maple. Okay. 5.5% alcohol by volume. Do we have story time on here? Nope. Von Trapp Brewing Company, Stowe, Vermont, USA. Nice, and it's got that new Von Trapp Brewing branding on it, as you can see right there. Their new logoing. Maybe I think I have either the Pilsner or the Helles maybe or something like that I reviewed. Maybe I'll pop those up on the same day. Von Trapp. Love the brewery, love the food, love the whole vibe of Von Trapp. You can just rinse and repeat exactly what I just said about Tröegs. Probably a little bit more kind of personal connection to Tröegs, being that I lived in PA and I've just had much more exposure to them. But I've been to Von Trapp Brewing a couple times. Every time I go to the Stowe, I definitely used to pop in, eat some food, rip some beers, and we get a really decent wide distribution footprint from Von Trapp in my area. So that's quite nice. And to be honest with you, not that Tröegs doesn't have killer price points. I mean, Von Trapp, 6 packs, $12 a piece, rippers, all of them. Easy for me to pick up. Label-wise, it's all right. It's definitely a huge departure from what you typically see from Von Trapp, but it's part of their Stowe style, which is their, I think, collaboration series, and those tend to deviate from their typical artwork. So I'm not going to hate on it. It has a little bit of kind of old school vibes to it, so we'll get down. As far as Dunkelweizen goes, man, that's dark. I thought it'd be just a touch lighter. Not that I was expecting to be light, but this is quite dark. It's almost like Weizenbach level dark. Has that nice kind of khaki colored head with this rich brown / mahogany mixture color. Very, very dense kind of like powdered iced tea vibes going on here. So, let's see if we can get a nose. See how that maple kind of pushes on this sucker. That's a weird nose. I'm not going to lie to you, because it has this little bit of like I'm going to say smokiness to it. That's the way it kind of comes off to me. A little bit of smokiness, and not necessarily in like that kind of Grausch beer, Schlenkerler, fatty, charry kind of smokiness. Almost like a classic campfire, wood stove kind of smokiness to it. So you got these richer malts that come off a little bit spicy, nothing too crazy chocolatey or anything like that. You'd expect there to be a big wheat kind of component to it, maybe even dipping into a little bit of like, classic wheat beer, kind of banana ester or something like that. Not really getting that here. I'm getting like a roasted, toasted wheatiness, wheatiness, not weediness, and just that little bit of touch of like a kind of generic smoke, but in a good way. Curious to see where it comes off in the taste. I think that's it as far as aromatics go, actually. Yeah, get a little bit of that classic wheat nose in there, kind of propping through or trying to burst through with a little bit of that kind of banana phenolic. But it smells like a little bit of a malt forward wheat beer, but without that ultra uber classicness, with that little bit of spicy smokiness to it. Let's dive in. Cheers, y'all. Yeah. It's very much a more classical version of a wheat beer in a taste. The nose really throws you for a loop. Once you dive into it, you do get that kind of banana-y wheat beer thing that you typically get from a lot of like German-style, German-based kind of wheat beers. But then when you throw the added connection of a little bit more darker roasted toastiness to it, wheat having a bit of kind of smokiness, that little charriness to it. That's where I was getting that little bit of smokiness from, I believe. And you throw that dollop of maple in here, and we're talking a dollop. It's a little tiny little smidge of maple that adds two things to it. A little bit of maple flavoring. Again, not overpowering by any stretch of the imagination, but it's there. And when you combine it with that little subtle kind of banana thing you typically get from wheat beers, it plays in a little bit of a adulty desserty kind of way. It's not a dessert beer. I'm not going to sit here and tell you this comes off like a pastry beer by any stretch of imagination, but in a more classical sense, it has a little bit of these kind of desserty vibes to it. And then it adds a touch of sweetness to it. That maple, it feels like there's the sweetness, strictly, not all the sweetness, but that little tipping point of sweetness in here it's not cloying by any stretch of imagination, but it's just a little extra twist to the sweetness here, and it has to be that maple at play here. And it just adds something else to the beer. I like this quite a bit, actually. I thought I was going to like be blown away by it. I think I'm going to start short of that. But it's tasty, very tasty, and unique enough that it brings a cool kind of twist to the wise wheat beer, dark beer kind of section portion of the show, but at the same time stays true to roots, which is honestly I would say more Tröegs' calling card there. Mantra is uber traditional with a tipping of a hat to the new school. Not that they can't get super new school. On Trapp being quite a bit more traditional, but with their Stowe style, that's where they do kind of step out of those comfort zones. So it's in a very appropriate kind of combination, very appropriate collaboration, and a really tasty beer. The weirdest thing I could probably ever say about this beer, and I don't think I've said this before, and this is not the case. This beer came out of a fridge, a normal refrigerator. It drinks like it's way colder than other beers. I don't know why that is even a thing. It drinks colder. It's the same temperature as all my other beers. I'm just weird. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I dig it. I think it's fun. I think it's tasty. Again, we're going to start short of like mesmerizingly newness that I've never had before in my life. It's a fun play. It's a fun combination. I like the twist of the maple in there. And it comes off as a very, very cool, very fun 5.5% again. Dunkelweizen, very much kind of almost getting to Weizenbach-y kind of territory for me. I said at the beginning, and just the added sweetness to it, and just the way the beer kind of plays, it definitely comes off that way. And just a really fun collab. Beer can be fun. Who would have thunk it, right? That's like my new catchphrase. Whenever beer's fun, I'm like, wow, what a wild suggestion. Beer can be fun. But there you go. Dunkelweizen from the old Stowe style. Trapp and Tröegs bringing it. Is it one of the better Dunkelweizens I've had as late? Yeah, it would default to number one. It's one of the better ones I've had ever. It's in the conversation. It's not Mount Rushmore status, but it's very tasty stuff, and I'm glad I got a 4-pack. Let's put it that way. Value availability, off the shelf. I want to say it was like $12.99. All day with that. And leave you with, if you like what we like this beer, if you like Tröegs, you like Von Trapp, you like Dunkels, you like wheat beers, you like maple, but not volumetrically crazy versions of those things, you'll dig this. So there you go. Review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Down there if you want to talk about it. This beer more particularly, if you, in particular, whatever, words are hard. If you want to talk about this beer, if you had it, down there. What's your favorite Tröegs beer? What's your favorite Stowe, Von Trapp beer? And all that fun stuff. In the conversation, chat, words, and are getting harder as we go along, so we're going to cut this short and say, hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you enjoyed a good collab beer right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers, y'all.